I'll get you, says the Greek father to Dean Henderson. But the question is, when? Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. Coming up in today's video, I apologize, but we have to talk about Dean Henderson and the latest happenings with him. We got a link to yet another Manchester United player that seems to be gathering some strength. Another striker linked as well, and a striker that said no. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And there is still a few tickets left for this signed boot on football prizes, so make sure you check that out in the link below. And finally, don't forget your tickets for the FFTV live podcast on the 6th of August at the Trent Nav. All right, let's jump into this and let's start with Dean Henderson. So this Dean Henderson saga is starting to get extremely messy, extremely annoying, and extremely boring. Now, we all know that Onana has been, well, pretty much done deal with Manchester United, which opens the floodgates for Dean Henderson to leave. However, I would have assumed that Forest had already started the negotiation process for Dean Henderson. And if you believe reports that are coming out today, the talks are that the negotiations are just starting now. In fact, some of these negotiations sound completely weird. There have been talks that Forest want to get Dean Henderson on another loan-to-buy option. And Manchester United have flat out rejected this. They want cash now for Dean Henderson. This in itself makes you wonder, can Forest really afford to splash out 20 to 30 million, whatever the price of Dean Henderson is going to be? Or is this going to cause us FFP problems, as we've alluded to throughout this summer? So that option has been rejected by Manchester United for Dean Henderson. And he's been told that if nothing breaks in the next 24 to 48 hours, he will be flying out of Manchester United on their pre-season tour of America, I believe it is. So it could be an interesting next day or so for the whole Dean Henderson saga. But at the moment, what do we know? Well, we know that Forest definitely want him. Why? Because the reports are out that the Greek father has told Dean Henderson that they will go for him. Now, that doesn't necessitate that he is going to come to Nottingham Forest. I don't think the Greek father can say to Henderson, look, if Manchester United want 50 million, 100 million, a billion for you, whatever, you will be wearing the Garibaldi next season. So I think this is just a chat between the two of them, and I think it's expected. Look, it's no secret that Forest do want Dean Henderson. But I'm just getting frustrated with this whole saga. And I'm starting to get annoyed that if this is true, that Forest didn't start the negotiations before with Manchester United or have a deal in principle on the clause of when Onana gets brought into Manchester United, that Hendo would come. And what the hell is going on? It's just delaying things further and further. And we've gone out to Spain with Horvath as our first choice keeper, who's had a knock anyway. We've got Hennessy as backup and Shelvey as the third choice. By the way, I thought Shelvey was quite good against County, but that's not the point here. So the point here is that Forest should have got Dean Henderson a lot earlier, should have put their foot down and told Manchester United, I don't care what you're doing with Onana. Here's 15 million or 20 million, whatever it is. You've got till the start of July to give us your answer. Otherwise, we're walking away. And I guarantee you, Man Utd would have panicked and taken the deal. But instead, no, we're playing to Manchester United's tune. And that's the tune you don't want to be playing to, because they are notoriously slow when it comes to doing transfer business. I mean, what kind of club does a verbal offer in principle and agreement before actually submitting an offer? That's how they work. It's just stupidity. And we're dealing with them and we're playing their tune. And that for me is extremely frustrating. It's getting to the stage now where I'd rather just see a goalkeeper come in. There are plenty of good goalkeepers available, and they're available for cheaper prices than Dean Henderson. And let me just add, Dean Henderson is my number one choice, but I am not going to sing to Manchester United's tune over this one. And just get a goalkeeper in the door. It's not, look, as long as the goalkeeper can save the ball and distribute the ball, those are the two main assets you need for a goalkeeper. And that's it. So get on with it. Get him over the line, or just move on to one of the other 6 million goalkeepers we've been linked to, all of which can do a job between the sticks. It's frustrating. It really is. And I just want to see this one done. So Forest, pull your finger out, force Man U's hand, get this deal done. In a way, you can say Man U have set a semi-ultimatum to Nottingham Forest to say to them, you got 24 hours to sing to our tune and get this one done, or we're shipping him on the plane. And this is the frustrating bit. Everyone knows Dean Henderson will not play for Manchester United again. After what he said on TalkSport last year, now that Onana's come in, he definitely won't want to play second fiddle to him. So why is this delay? And it could only be about money. And it could only be about how much Forest want to pay and how much Manchester United wants. But it's a goddamn mess. Get your thoughts in below. Okay, moving on to the next link, and for God's sake, it's Manchester United again. And this is Elanga. Elanga, who we told you about I think a week or two ago, that Forest were interested in him. There's mixed reports now coming out. Obviously, there was the strong links with Everton. And where I'm saying the mixed reports coming out is in regards to his price tag. There's been talks of 10 million. There's been talks of 15 million. There's even talks that Manchester United want to hold to 20 million if they can get a bidding war going on him. And I just don't want to deal with this shitty club. I really don't. So if Forest are interested in Elanga, fine. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's still unproven. And I don't think he's worth any more than 10 million. So if Forest are going to pay 15 or 20 million, I don't want him. I don't want him. Maybe they'll do a buy two, get one free deal with Manchester United with the whole Dean Henderson thing. But come on, man. It's just got to, I'm just starting to get frustrated with this window. I've been bottling it up for weeks now, especially as the club have said they want their business done early so everyone gets a full pre-season. We can hit the Arsenal game head on and all this crap. Well, we're now in the 18th of July and nothing has happened. We got Chris Wood to our name. Why is it taking so long? And it's frustrating. The team is out in Spain. We played Notts County the other day. We didn't see any technically new players, but yeah, you saw the likes of Hwang and Christina Aguilera, etc., which was as exciting as it could get for that friendly. And by the way, Forest are playing Valencia tonight. We'll be live for it from 5:45 p.m. UK time, so make sure you join us for the watch along as well. So my frustration is starting to simmer. I can feel it coming up. And I don't like some of these players that we're linked to. If I'm being honest and truthful with you guys, there's only 2 players that have tickled my fancy so far. And that's Tyler Adams from Leeds and Sanghera as well. Outside of that, honestly, I'll take them or leave them. The rest of the players are just meh to me. They really are. And we need some players. We need a CDM, we need a left back, a goalkeeper, and another striker as a bare minimum. And on top of that, we've still not got rid of our deadwood. The only sale we've made this summer is Sam Surridge. Yes, it was a fantastic deal, getting 5 million from Nashville. Brilliant. What a bunch of idiots they were to pay that much. But apart from that, there are 7 to 12 players that need to leave Nottingham Forest. And it's just like everything seems to be in a bit of a domino effect. And no one seems to be able to knock over that first domino because we need to exit these players to generate revenue to then buy the new players coming in. But we can't seem to be able to sell all these crappy players that we're trying to get rid of. And without that sale, we can't get the new players in. It's just it's turning into a bit of a mess, this transfer window. Look, hopefully come tomorrow, maybe some players have linked. And I know you guys are getting frustrated in the comments. I've seen it in there saying, why are you reporting on these transfer rumors? Why can't you just shut up until something signs? Well, at the end of the day, this is a Forest channel, a fan channel. We'll talk about the links. We're not here to tell you or break to you the new links or the new signings or anything like that. And it's important that you guys get a chance to get your thoughts and reactions in. But I'm just getting frustrated. And this Elanga one, honestly, I don't want him. I don't want him. And yes, that's my Man U bias. I don't want to give them more money. I'm already just about at peace with taking Dean Henderson from them. And Dean Henderson, for me, isn't a Man U player because of what he said to TalkSport last summer. Elanga, I see him in that crappy Red Devil shirt, and I'm just not interested. Get me someone else that isn't from Manchester United, because I can't be bothered to sit here for the next 2 weeks and tell you guys, oh, Forest have gone in, oh, Man U have rejected, oh, they've gone back in, they're going to have more talks, because that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be a quick deal. Oh, here come Everton suddenly with a bid. You can almost pre-plan out what's going to happen, because this is Manchester United, and this is how you end up dealing with them. But for me, Elanga is a no, not because I don't think he's good enough, just because I can't get rid of my biases. But get your thoughts in down below. So following on from yesterday's video on Nascimento, it has now become crystal clear what is happening. As I said to you yesterday, it was a bit weird that personal terms hadn't been pre-agreed with the player before Forest started talking to the club and agreeing fees, etc. And it's come out that he has now rejected personal terms with Nottingham Forest, and his pursuit is more in favour of a Spanish league club. I assume for culture and for language and all that kind of stuff, that's why he wants to go somewhere there. Do I think this one's dead in the water? I don't know. There's this weird little feeling in me that maybe Forest will still end up getting him. Maybe just because he's Brazilian, and we all know a Brazilian at Nottingham fits very well. But as things stand, he wasn't happy to join Nottingham Forest. I don't think the offer was bad. I just think culturally he wants to go and play in a Portuguese-speaking country or a Spanish-speaking country for me. That's what makes sense to me. But he has rejected Nottingham Forest, even though it seems that the clubs had come to an agreement. So as things stand, he won't be coming. However, Forest haven't stopped there. They're looking for another young Brazilian wonder kid, and in the name of Washington is the next one they're scouting. The 19-year-old, completely unproven, even in the Brazilian league, has played a handful of games for Santos, I believe it is, and has scored a couple of goals. He spent most of his time in the under-21s team and the under-17s team. In fact, probably been bumped up to the under-21s team from the under-17s team because of his performances. So I can't really tell you how good he is. I can't even tell you how much he's worth. He is that young. It's like scouting one of our players from the under-21s that no one's really heard of before. That's the kind of risk you would have with this one. They call him the goal-scoring machine in Brazil, but he is too young and too unproven for me. If he was to come for a couple of million, fine, I'll take the risk, no problem at all. But he definitely won't be ready for the Premier League straight away. He would be a project player. But the problem is these are the current live links we have with Nottingham Forest, and the frustration, as I've already mentioned, is starting to build up. I don't expect 23 signings like we saw last summer, but I do expect 4 or 5 to come through the door and 5 or 6 be tried to move out. And at the moment, we're still sitting on just Chris Wood. And that for me is extremely, extremely frustrating. How are you guys feeling about it? Let me know in the comments down below. We'll be, of course, talking about all of this during the watch along tonight against Valencia. Something to clarify to you, there was some dumbass reports on Twitter and retweets yesterday about Awani potentially not going to Spain because he's going to join Aston Villa, according to some reporters on Twitter. However, this is absolute BS. There was some slight complications with his visa. These have been resolved, and I believe he'll be flying out, if not now, then very, very shortly. All this was derived because there was a picture of him with Dennis. Now, we don't even know when that picture was taken or anything like that, but it doesn't mean that he's going to Aston Villa. SMH, isn't that what the kids say? Shake my head. Unbelievable. Anyway, we'll be live from 5:45 tonight UK time for the watch along with Valencia. Make sure you tune in. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We'll see you in a couple of hours for what hopefully will be a more exciting game than the county match. And come on, you Reds.